Welcome to our Sunday special. To say Nigeria is witnessing one of its lowest period is to say the least, as the country battles with a young generation who have lost moral values. In this next report, senior correspondent Ivy Kano takes a look at the sudden knack for buying Nigerian youths for quick money.
For days, no hour passes without one report of gruesome murder committed by young boys, sometimes in the age range of between 16 and 25. More often, these acts are attributed to their hunger to want to get rich quick. In Imo State, a young boy was said to have stabbed his mother several times after he invited her over to his house. Also in the case of 4 young boys between the ages of 14 and 18 who allegedly murdered a young girl, Sofiat Okowo, in Ogun State. When apprehended, they opened up to the police how they wanted to use her remains for money ritual. This ugly trend has become a national embarrassment and of great concern that the House of Representatives at the plenary asked the federal government to declare a national emergency to tackle the menace. Abdul Rahman Ahmad is the chief missioner and Saruddin Worldwide, while Chukwuemeka Kano is the prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria. The two religious leaders are worried over the future of the country.
It's based on moral depravity and spiritual kwashoko. Everything about Nigeria is trying to collapse, and it has affected everything else. How can young people be looking for money? When parents are bad, they cannot produce good children. And most of these children, their parents are cult members. So Nigeria needs prayer from mosque, from church, from traditional worshippers. We need serious prayer. Otherwise, we are nosediving in every parameter of our national life.
It's a sign of unprecedented degeneration into backwardness. Now the involvement of young people, very young people, it makes it even more scary because that talks into the future of this country. That tells us that as a people, our future remains very bleak indeed. For instance, how many people would Bill Gates would have needed to sacrifice before he made his money? And of course, again, this is because they have found models. And we must interrogate our system, our values as a people.
A cross-section of Nigerians blamed it on lack of proper parental care.
It's getting to a point where you cannot even say you have trained your children. Because whether you like it or not, the children that you train are going to be living in the same country with these boys. So at the level of the family, parents must wake up and begin to teach values to their children. What is the national orientation doing? Where is the place of enlightenment and campaign in this nation? It's very frightening. Some of them in the universities are riding Mercedes-Benz, so I'm told. So what is the future? Let some of these boys that have been caught face the full wrath of the law so that others can learn from a bitter way.
Some people have lived their 50, 60, 70, 80 years at their 20s. They've lived everything about life at their 20s. What is all the rush? What is the rush about making money when you still have so many years ahead of you? And ill-gotten money will never last. It actually it brings doom to you and your posterity. So my prayer is that we as Christians, parents, and other religious organizations, we really need to ask for the mercy of God and redirect our steps in the upbringing of our children.
Parents need to spend more time with their children. That will help. Parents also need to model for them the life that they expect them to lead. I always say that children copy more what they see than than what you tell them. So if parents are living a holy and righteous life and modeling it for their children, the children will copy it.
Another thing is lack of home training. Some parents, they don't care, you know. Imagine parents, you give birth to children, early morning, you're off to work, off to business. The child will start behaving anyhow. They'll become nuisance to the society. So I think there are so many reasons for that. But I'm calling on the government. They should please use all the security agents, anyhow they can do it, to be able to make sure they curb this menace of unnecessary acts.
Most times the family unit equally has a role to play. Let's say there are stories of parents actually encouraging their children to do that, you know. But basically, I think it's greed, because I don't think there's really any reason why you want to kill some other person. You know, okay, someone told you if you kill this person, you become rich and all that.
Mobile phones have made it much more easier for some of these video recordings to be shared across social media platforms without taking into consideration the mental well-being of the receiver.
That's what could possibly happen.
Chinyere Okonkwo is a clinical psychologist with the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Lagos. She says people should watch the kind of videos they watch on social media, especially the gory scenes, as it has a negative impact on the viewer.
The reaction could be likened to the post-traumatic stress disorder, a kind of reaction that brings about high level of anxiety, tension. The person may start to have nightmares, start to have intrusive thoughts of that clip, and it could be very disturbing. Okay. It could also make one to be just emotionally numb. It's one of those things. So it appears that the society, Nigeria society today, okay, is tilting towards that emotional numbness or even habituation, as the case may be. Let's say somebody with pre-existing anxiety issue. Of course, it will heighten it. And you, as a mental health professional, the only thing I'll be thinking of is this person should go and have a review, because relapse will be close. I will encourage that if a person who has a pre-existing mental health issue views such clip and feels very disturbed about it, get back to your doctor, get back to your therapist or your counselor, whoever that is taking care of you. Talk about it.
The film industry has also taken the knock for promoting ritual killings as an avenue to get rich quick. The president of Directors Guild of Nigeria rose to the defense of his colleagues in the industry.
It's mirror society, or report actualities, you know, even if in a fictional form. It is also important for people to know that there's a Film and Video Censors Board that looks at everything that comes out, and they're a responsible board. Movies are classified according to the nature of the movies. Again, you would have noticed that there is always a consequence for bad behavior in Nollywood movies. So how can we then be accused of glorifying or promoting ritual killings? To the members of the House of Reps, I say, why has the American government not accused Hollywood of being responsible for all the gun violence in America? If they want to look at where the problem is from, I've advised they should go look in the mirror, check themselves out. Whenever there are elections, the spate of killings, violence, rituals increases.
Though these are tough times, many observers say it is not the time to apportion blames, but rather a time to take critical steps at addressing this trend and save a drifting generation. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.